Alif, okey. Live ke ni sekarang? Sekejap Alif. Ada yang lain masuk tak Alif? Inilah kepala, ya Allah.
Belum ada orang lagi.
Okey tak Alif?
Kosong view.
Kosong. Alif dapat letak add UPM tak dekat bawah yang bergerak tu?
Letak apa?
Add UPM. Tak boleh Tak boleh Emma.
Tak boleh. Tak boleh. Tanya.
Okey.
Nak tulis, nak letak logo ke nak tulis?
Nak tulis je.
Boleh.
Okey. Lepas tu dah masuk tak?
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Okay, I'm so sorry for the problem, for the inconvenient thing that we faced because we have some issue just now. We are really sorry regarding that. And thank you for coming back with us. Thank you for stay tuned. So we will proceed our program until the end. So we will proceed to our second session. And then, I will invite the second speaker, which is Faisi Shahira, to proceed on second session. Thank you.
Welcome back. So now I'll be giving you guys some tips on how to deliver your presentation in details. First and foremost, before you do your presentation, remember to always do your framework of the presentation first. Wait. You can include your introduction, body and conclusion to make it organized and smooth like butter. In your introduction, you can introduce yourself first and restate the topic whether you agree or disagree. After that, in the body, state one or two reasons, but make sure to make it simple and full with information. And lastly, the conclusion. In the conclusion, you can restate back your position and conclude everything that is important that you can highlight from your topic. So for example, the topic that was given is learning a new language is important when you are traveling to another country. The introduction, I agree that learning is crucial when planning to go to other countries. Here you already restate your idea, which is you agree with it. So next is the body. Primarily speaking, learning a novel language prevents me from getting lost when I'm traveling. This is where you tell people the reason why you agree with the statement, and you can eventually explain more about it. And you also can state another 2 or 3 reasons or point or another examples. The conclusion is, based on this reason, that explains why, which here you restate back your points and conclude everything to make the audience understand the topic and points. Next, after you've done your framework, you must also check your language. Your language in English must always be straightforward. Besides that, for clarity, use structured points or the coherence. You can link your ideas together so that the audience can easily to understand. And lastly, the accuracy, which you have to choose your word wisely to avoid misunderstanding. So number 2, so number 2 is how you should sound like, the rhythm, where you should stress some words correctly, and you have to know how to raising and falling your intonation. Here I prepared some videos or demo for you. The first video will be teaching you on how to stress your words correctly, and the second one is how to manage your intonation. So please enjoy the video.
Lessons. Today's daily English lesson is about word stress. I just want to be a pea. Huh? Desert is my favorite thing. Some people have school for it. When you learn new words in English, always check how many syllables there are in the word. This is not always connected to the number of letters in the word. The word scratched has 9 letters, but only 1 syllable. The word idea has 4 letters, but 3 syllables. Once you've checked the number of syllables in a word, you need to check which syllable is the most important. And that's what we call the stressed syllable. Word stress is not about stress, it's about what's important. When we talk about wanting to be a P, what we really want to say is, I just want to be happy. The stress in the 2-syllable word, happy, is on the first syllable. You can make it like this, happy. The stressed syllable should be louder, longer, higher, and clearer than the other syllables in the word. In the other example, desert is my favorite thing. It's kind of strange. I think what you want to say is, dessert is my favorite thing. Now that I can understand. Dessert is a 2-syllable word with the stress on the 2nd syllable. You can do it like this, dessert. And how about school for beer? Sounds great, but I think you probably want to say school phobia. That's a 3-syllable word with the stress on the 1st syllable. Phobia, not phobia, unfortunately. So how do you know which syllables to stress? Luckily, there are some patterns. In 2-syllable nouns and adjectives, normally the stress would be on the 1st syllable, like apple or bottle. In 2-syllable verbs, normally the stress would be on the 2nd syllable, create. Some words look the same, but one form might be a noun or adjective, and the other form is a verb, and the stress changes accordingly. Perfect, the adjective, perfect. When we change that to a verb, the stress changes to the 2nd syllable, perfect. I have to perfect my work, so it will be perfect. Some other words might change their meaning unexpectedly, depending on where you put the stress. If you're someone who writes information for websites or books, you might call yourself a content creator, a content creator. If you get the stress wrong and you tell everybody that you're a content creator, you mean that you're happy. Well, that's great, and I'm pleased for you, but what do you make? Now that you know all about word stress, remember that you can always be a P.
Hey everyone, welcome to elementalenglish.com. Today's podcast is an introduction to intonation, an English pronunciation lesson. Speaking and understanding English doesn't just come from using correct grammar and vocabulary. Native English speakers convey meaning in their sentences with pitch, the ups and the downs and the musical notes of their sentences. For example, the following 2 sentences contain the same words, but is there a difference in meanings? Number 1, She got a dog. Number 2, she got a dog. In these two simple sentences, the focus word of the sentence, the word that gets the most emphasis, is dog. But what happened with the sound of the focus word? In sentence 1, the intonation went down to indicate the completion of the thought. She got a dog. In sentence 2, the intonation went way up to indicate surprise. She got a dog? The patterns of ups and downs of your voice and your pitch on and after the focus word, which is usually at the end of a sentence or question, is called intonation. In English, there are 3 intonation patterns: a rise, a full fall, and a partial fall. Listen and repeat the following examples of intonation patterns. The focus word is underlined in each sentence. I got a dog. I got a dog. How are you? How are you? Your dog speaks English? Your dog speaks English? Who got a dog? Who got a dog? My dog is smart, pretty, and sweet. My dog is smart, pretty, and sweet. I want a dog, but I want a dog, but... So remember, speaking English isn't just about correct grammar and vocabulary. You must change your pitch, the ups and the downs, and the musical notes of your voice to convey proper meaning, emotion, and expression. As always, post your questions and comments below, and if this lesson was helpful to you, feel free to share it with friends and family on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, so next, the third one is your body gesture. In this part, you have to know how to maintain your facial expression, eye contact, and your body language. So, as you all know, everyone has a lot of expressions. We have anger, disgust, happy, and many more. To avoid your audience to be misunderstanding or uncomfortable, choose expression that suitable for your explanation. For example, if you are presenting about positive topic, use happiness as your expression. Or when you are telling some sad stories, use your sadness expression. And it is easier for the audience to understand the situation and get into the topic more. So next is eye contact. Eye contact is one of the basic elements in public speaking. It is subtle but powerful when used appropriately during presentation. This nonverbal cue may seem banal, but it is a stepping stone toward enticing your audience. So now, I would like to share with everyone 8 ways eye contact can make or break your presentation. Let's learn about its importance, advantages, and disadvantages here. The advantages of making good eye contact shows sincerity. Looking at your spectators for around 5 seconds will help establish rapport. This adds a personal touch to your speech, and they will most likely believe what you are saying. Next is responsiveness. Perceiving facial expressions spontaneously will help you check on your audience. Pause for a moment when you spot a confused looking person or would like to convince skeptical listener. Next, confidence. It's same as sincerity. You have to look at your spectators, and this will help you to gain trust and focus from your spectators. Last but not least, reduces stage fright. Eye connection helps you maintain concentration. As you focus your eyes on each person, you lessen the anxiety of speaking to a large crowd. So next, however, when misused eye contact, it also sends negative signals such as distraction, where the bad eye contact tends to distract spectators and they might turn to the direction where your eyes are looking at or perceive you as perfunctory towards your presentation. Next is uneasiness. Too much eye contact is called glaring. Avoid staring at a single listener because it creates uncomfortable feeling with the person you are engaged with. Last but not least, shows lack or extreme interest. In relation to uneasiness, eye contact can portray too much or lack of interest when used in extremes. So now I'll be giving you some tips on how to make an eye contact easily, like a professional. Tips number 1, when you are presenting in front of the large audience, you are not required to create eye contact with every person included. Spectators will appreciate your visual engagement with the group tips. With the group. And tips number 2, in a smaller gathering, make it a habit to create eye connection with every listener. If you don't, you might actually risk excluding people you are not looking at and distract listeners who notice you are excluding others. Last but not least, eye aversion. Eye direction has major impacts in nonverbal communication. Aversion can break your presentation by giving the suspicious impression. Aversion makes people think you are hiding something, even if you are just painfully shy. So, in a nutshell, eye contact is an aspect to speakers often overlook. It is important to develop this communication skill to properly engage people from all walks of life. This simple gesture includes respect and understanding regardless of the crowd or the person you talk to. So, is everyone clear for now? Is it clear? Okay, so if everyone is clear, so I'll move to the next one. Okay, so lastly is body language. Now I will give you 8 tips on how to make your presentation great. First, is you have to open your chest and arms and keep your back straight. This is to boost your confidence during the presentation, and this position will make you breathe better and you will feel more relaxed. The second one, to make the audience comfortable, simply smile at them. Smiling is our most powerful weapon to make everyone comfortable. So the third one, to engage people, gesture with your arms and hands in natural way and look your audience in the eye. People tend naturally to pay attention and to like people who look them in the eye. So the fourth one is to demonstrate authority. Always remember to keep calm and use small and stiff gestures. This way, people will trust you and view you as a confident person. Fifth, to bring movement of your speech, use the physical space you have available and walk it. For example, if you are presenting 3 points, talk about a point when you are at your first position. Then move 2 or 3 steps and talk about point B. This way, a movement that includes space will accompany your speech. So 6, to draw attention to a certain element of the presentation, point directly at it and look at it on the screen. At the same time, your audience will follow your eyes and your fingers. Seventh, to make a hard question seem easier, pause and breathe slowly, which this will give you some time to think, and then answer the question while looking at the audience in the eyes, like the questioner in the eye. Last but not least, to make your audience buy your story, use positive gestures during the entire presentation, which you can nodding, smiling, and others. Is everyone clear for now? Okay, so in a nutshell, so here is some recap about how to present in details. You must always focus on your framework, because it is very important to make sure that your presentation will be smooth. Also, always to manage your language, what your language should be, your sound, how you should sound like, and lastly, your body language, like how your body should act like. That's all from me. Thank you. So now we will move to our Q&A session. You can ask any question that you like in the chat box. You can write anything you want to ask. Okay, so Faika asks in the chat box, I have a question. When we are presenting and suddenly we become nervous, what we should do? Like I said earlier, when you feel like the nervousness come or hit towards you, keep calm, breathe slowly, and take a break from what, like 1 or 3 seconds, like breathe, something like that. So you can during that time you can think about like 1 or 2 answer to answer the question. Does it answering your question? Is it okay, Faika? Okay, so do you have any question to ask before we move to our next session? Yes, it is normal for someone to hold something in their hands, which to better option, use something like metal, something like that, because I have done some research, or I read in the article that when you are holding something like a metal thing, it helps you to calm down and lessen your nervousness. Like some people usually hold their like something like pen, or the one that the laser that show the slide and so on. So yeah, it helps you to reduce the nervousness. Anything else? So if there is no question, we will move to the next slot, which Asya will call for it. Thank you.
Did you find yourself smiling? If you smile, please keep smiling and try to read. Hi, my name is Wang Yuanqing. I'm from China. Today we will discuss how to presentation, or you can speak anything. Now I have 3 questions to you guys. Will you feel relaxed? Do you feel firm in your eyes? Will you feel confident? If you answer yes, I'm honored that this little trick can help you. Next, we will move to exercise part. Please choose one of the following 3 topics. You can choose my hometown, or my family, or my hobby. For example, if you choose my hometown, then you can introduce culture, food, and so on. Use your creatively. You will have 5 minutes to prepare a 3 minutes presentation. Okay, any question? If no question, okay, start now. 5 minutes.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi again to everyone. So we will proceed to the presentation activities, where for these activities you have to pick any topic, which is hometown, family, or hobby, and then you will be given 5 minutes to prepare yourself, and then 3 minutes to present your idea on the topic. So for this one, basically you can share anything you want regarding the hometown or family or hobby. Okay, so those who are presenting, I will share screen here so that everyone can see the way they deliver the speech, how is their body language, and how is they very confident in giving the speech. So all of you can evaluate on how they deliver the speech. Okay, so I will share the screen for our presenter, for our brave and very sporting presenter for today. Thank you. Just okay. Okay, we almost. Okay, so can you see that this is our first presenter, Kaisara. Okay, Kaisara. Okay, we are streaming right now, so you can start your speech right now. Are you ready? Okay, so we'll give Kaisara in 1 minute, and then she will present her speech. Can you unmute your mic? Okay, thank you.
Can you see my face and can you hear my voice?
Yeah, sure. Yes, we can.
Okay. Can I start now?
Yes, you can. Please. Thank you.
Can I start?
Yes, Kaisara, you can.
Okay. Sorry, I can't hear
Good
you.
luck.
Okay. Hello and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kaisara Shafika, and today I'd like to talk about my family. I love my family. I mean, who doesn't? But I think that everyone secretly have their favorite member in the family. Do you have someone in mind? Well, I do. Husband, oh guys, no, I'm single as a Pringle. But you can leave your number in the comment section down below if you're interested. I'm just kidding. Back to the story. This person has perfected every aspect of my life, helping me to become a better person. And that person is my younger brother. He's a special angel that was sent above, in which I call him Opal, which means precious stone in Sanskrit. Well, first, he is precious indeed. And then second, he is very stubborn, just like my younger sister. By the way, I'm the firstborn out of 3 siblings, and I have a sister a year younger than me. And this youngest brother of mine is turning 5 next month on the exact date, on the 90th. Okay? So talking about my brother, he was born when I was 17, and being 17 was the most intense year of my teenage life. There were a few significant events that happened, like sitting for SPM, losing my beloved grandfather, and most importantly, the birth of my favorite soya bean. Moreover, he also has the similar physical attributes to my grandpa. That's why I love him more. Now, I'm going to tell you 3 things that my 5-year-old brother has taught me for these 5 years. But first, he taught me to be patient. I'm proudly to inform you and tell all the world that my brother has autism. He's a very wonderful kid with autism spectrum disorder. And dealing with special kids like him requires a lot and a lot of patience. You have to deal with their picky eating habits. You have to deal with their tantrums. You have to deal with their meltdowns. And for the past 5 years, I have cried a lot. I have bruised a lot. I have a lot of scars on my body because of this tantrums. And I've also bled a lot. So does my parents and my siblings. Well, secondly, he taught me how to love unconditionally, you know, despite all of the things that have happened, despite all the scars and the bruises, I still love him. It wasn't his fault for having tantrums. It's just how his mind is programmed differently, and it was not something to be ashamed of. Because he himself has been going through a lot and he's been struggling on his own. No one could read his mind, no one could understand him, which led to tantrums actually. Despite that, my brother has shown great affection to me and my family. Every morning, he would come up into my room and give me a kiss on the cheek and then say, "Good morning," which means good morning. Okay, he has his own language, which is very cute. And sometimes he shares me his favorite food or give me a big hug when I cry. He's my biggest supporter. And day by day, my love for him continues to grow, as well as my respect for him for being the way he is right now. And lastly, I want to tell you what my brother taught me, which I think is very important. And I've been doing this with a lot of people. And what he taught me is how to be understanding. So, like I said before, my brother has autism, and more so, and on top of that, he is nonverbal. You know, you have a lot of types of autism, Asperger's, but my brother is born nonverbal, meaning that he could not communicate with spoken language like Bahasa Melayu or English. He talks a lot actually, but in his own language. From him, I learned that communication, understanding each other doesn't mean that you have to do it in a spoken language. It doesn't mean that you have to have verbal communication or concrete words like "I love you" or saying hello. But I learned that you can also express yourself using your whole body, your facial expressions, and your gesture. I learned a lot from it, honestly. And we've been doing a lot of sign language these past few weeks, although I'm not learning sign language at all, but I just know a little bit basic things from his therapy. I learned a lot from him, and I've applied in my classroom, and it works. It works. If it works on a special student, on a special kid, it works on a normal student too. They are equally the same. Anyways, I could talk about my brother for hours and days just to tell you what and how wonderful he is as a kid. But time is running out. And so to end my speech, I like to say thank you for your time. And that's all. And have a nice day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Kaisara. A very touching and interesting sharing from you. So it's like it's like a gratitude because you are willing to
When I'm
share
ready,
something interesting
I'm
like
quite
that.
ready.
Can you hear? Can you hear me? All right. So thank you for your sharing. It's a very good sharing, the way you're confident in front of camera. And I hope that everyone can learn something from her. She's a very good speaker in front. So you can learn a lot from her. Thank you. So we can go to our next presenter. Can we have Sazwana?
Sure can.
Okay. Thank you.
A very good morning to my dear online friends, and thank you for UPM student who organized this program. I'm Siti Sazwana binti Muhammad Hamka from SMK Ailana Studi Kelantan. In this wonderful day, let us start our day with heart-wrenching speech about hobby. Hobby is something by which we can pass our free time. A hobby is particular and most interesting habit of any person. Hobby makes us busy and refreshes our mind. A life without hobbies is like food without salt. A hobby gives joy and pleasure. My favorite hobby is gardening. I'm much interested in gardening since my childhood. I like to see the garden, velvety grass, different colors of flowers, and beautiful plants. So I have selected a piece of land in my house and plant different kind of flowers. I have planted red rose, yellow and black rose plants and have arranged them one after another. In the evening, my family pass their time in the garden. I have also planted guava and rambutan trees, which gives shadow from the scorching beam and also get food from it. I have also reserved a piece of land for growing vegetables and get different seasonal vegetables. Though gardening is a hard work and expensive, but the hard labor makes my health sound and we get fresh vegetable and beautiful flowers. I prefer to work in my garden than wasting my time in gossiping or playing games. Gardening is the best exercise also, and therefore I prefer gardening than playing any game. That's all from me. Thank you.
Alright. Thank you, Sazwana, for your participation. It's a really good sharing on hobby. So I hope that you can keep up the good work. Thank you. So next, can we have Basil?
Alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a blessed everyone. Great women's greetings from me. I am Basil bin Muhammad Nassim, Primary 5 from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Sungai Pusu, Gombak, Selangor. Or the shortcut name is SMK SP. Well, before that, I would like to deliver my best wishes to all of you, including friends from SMK Sungai Pusu who love to be joined and be participated in this beneficial program. Well, I would like to tell about the hobby. As we can see, as the world becomes increasingly borderless by the day, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit since March 2020 and the world went into lockdown, we were all faced with the challenge unlike any of us had ever seen before. Throughout all of this, our priority was and is safety and health. Sadly, this meant we had to close our doors. That we announced as MCO, Movement Control Order. In 18 March 2020. And throughout all of this authority, we can see that we can go out from our house. It is quiet still walking around an empty place. Seemingly the premise usually should be bustling with a lot of excited people, completely empty. But there's light at the end of its tunnel, which means we can use our time with the beneficial hobby, or else our activities, the time activities will deteriorate, as the late Allahyarham Tan Sri Piramli said in the song. Apakan daya, masa tak akan kembali, hancur musnahlah semuanya, impian yang murni tinggal menjadi kenang-kenanganku, hanya rangkaian kata dengan lagu dendang perantau. Well, our times we can manage it during the MCO, right? I use it to the watering the plants, the cucumber, the bayam, the tomato, and another else. Something I do, except the gardening, I walking around our house every day, so we can take the wind and we can release our stressful in our mind. In another activity, we can read. Yes, I used to read, not just the textbooks. We can read the newspaper online or the simple book that we buy it from the library or other premise. And I used to listen to the song and read the Al-Quran if we are Muslims, and the Hadith. We can, what people say, hafal, and inshallah, it will make our mind very stronger, and we can contribute it to the society, nation, and the Ummah. And I used to make establishing editing video, the video that can bring luck and benefits to the nation. Satu Malaysia. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and greetings.
Okay, thank you very much, Basil. A very good and a very confident, a very informative speech by you. Good job. It's a very good job. Thank you. Okay, so now we have one more presenter. So I will invite the last presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Asya, for inviting. I hope my voice is clear.
So clear.
All right, so I'm going to start again. All right. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. So, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all. Thank you for joining, and thank you for the organizing team for having this session today. It helps us a lot. Okay, so when you hear the first quote I said, I'm sure most of us can already guess what topic I'm going to present. Okay, and yes, if you think that I'm talking about my family, it's true, but I will not be introducing them. So if that's what you're hoping for, Sorry, they're all taken. Okay. But I like to remind everyone that today we are facing a pandemic. And in this pandemic, most of us have the same problem. We are stressed because we cannot go out. We haven't seen our friends for a while. And then we're not comfortable working or learning from home because that's not what we used to do, right? Okay. But I like to extrude here that whatever happens, whatever difficulty that you are facing today, now, you have to remember that there's always a blessing in disguise. And the blessing that I'm talking about today is, of course, our family. And yes, some people might disagree with me because they may have problematic families or they may have trouble inside of their families, but it's okay. You're not alone. And I hope that you see the bigger picture because some people lose families in this pandemic. They lose their fathers, they lose their mother, they lose babies because they got infected with COVID-19. And if we're not those people, we should be thankful, we should be grateful because we don't know how long we have with our family, right? And whenever we are with them, try to take this chance. So I like to ask you to prioritize the people you love. Yes, you have to work. Yes, you have to learn from home, but try to take the time and spend time with your family as well. Talk to them, tell them you love them, spend time, play games, and help them out, help your mother out. Don't just sleep all day. And why am I stressing about this? Because not everyone has that opportunity. And some people has to stay far away from their families. They cannot visit their parents. Some people has to work in KL and their parents are maybe in Johor and they won't be able to see them. They can only make video calls if their parents know how to video call. So be thankful. And because of this pandemic too, you have to understand that some mothers, they can actually see their children grow. They don't have to send them to tadika or kindergartens, and they can actually nurse their own sons and daughters on their own. They have that time now. And for us students, we also have that time because some students, some people, they actually spend a lot of time away from their family for study. I mean, like they go to boarding school and then we go to universities and we only go back home on short holidays for 2 days or so. And that's not enough. So take this opportunity to reconnect and bond with your family because not everyone has the chance to do so. And let us not be a part of those people that regret not taking the chances that is presented to us. So I guess that's all from me. I'm Era from Pahang. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A very interesting sharing. So really love the confidence. So good job to all of you that managed to present to all of others participants today. Thank you very much. You did a good job. Thank you. So all of you can go back to the YouTube live. So we'll meet there. Okay. So here. Okay, stop sharing. Okay. So that is all our presentation for today. So for practice room, can you see how they apply all the knowledge that they gain from today's session on how is their body language, how is their intonations, how is they communicate with us, like they sharing the story, right? Okay, so for us that didn't do the presentation, so actually we can learn a lot from them, like how they present, like how the confidence that they have. So I think that all of us, even though we are not confident right now, that sooner or later, if you keep practicing on your pronunciation, on your speaking, sooner or later, I believe that all of us can be fluent in English and then confidence in using that language in our daily life. So that is the conclusion for our practice room for today. Okay, so we're moving on to our last slot, which is our closing part. So I will pass our session to our next facee, which is Shahira. Thank you very much.
So, hello. Can I have the slide? Okay, so now let's move to our reflection and feedback session, where in the chat box we will provide a Google form for you to give a feedback, and this is very compulsory in order to get e-certificate and merit. In the Google form also is considered as our attendance for this event, for this program. So I'll give you some time to fill in the link, the Google form. I hope that everyone will be patient. The link will be given in a short time. Okay, so there. So please fill in your attendance and don't forget to give some feedback so that you can get your e-certificate and also merit for UPM students. So, okay, here is our reflection space. So, I'll give you the question and you can answer it in the chat box. Like, so for example, like, what is your main learning today? And you can answer it in the chat box. Today, the whole throughout the program, what have you learned so far? What is the main topic of our program today? Yeah, like Ubay said, to make a presentation more interesting and build confidence. Good. That's good for you. And I'm really glad. Yeah, you can speak anything you want in the chat box. We will answer it as soon as possible. Thank you. To make a good slide so the audience can engage with the presentation. Yeah, that's that's the main program. So I hope that you guys get everything that we want to share today so that you can improve your presentation after this. So the last question is, in your opinion, in everyone's opinion, what is your favorite session? What is your favorite slot throughout this program? Oh, Kahoot, yeah. It's very interesting, right? So Kahoot, yeah, everyone agree that Kahoot is the most interesting slot because you got to like fight with each other to get the first place. The game session. Okay, so the language session also. So I'm really grateful that everyone enjoyed our program today. Sorry for the inconvenience that happened, like we have to exchange the platform. I'm so sorry for that. So thank you everyone for joining. So next is before we end our program, we would like to remind you guys to join our next event from BAKTI SISWA, which is at 2 o'clock, where we talk the environmental talk. Is 2 p.m. The link will be blast soon. So don't forget to join it, guys. Bring everyone to join it as well to hear the talk. Okay, so next. We're supposed to have photo session, but it's okay. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you so much. And I hope that you guys' presentation will be improved and will be better next presentation. Okay, so that's all from us. Thank you.